It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Yesterday was the annual Heroes Breakfast in West Bloomfield, the beloved annual event dedicated to celebrating the veterans and heroes that make our community what it is. I was at the event and had the chance to speak with some of our local veterans to hear what this event means to them and their history.
Well, we've been here for each and every one, and we really appreciate West Bloomfield for doing this for us. And it's tough to be a veteran from the Vietnam era, but we do appreciate everything that has happened, and every volunteer, every service person, and this community, and thank you.
It's been very, very invigorating because I'm able to see my fellow veterans and to see the outreach of the community and the people who are very, very much interested in the veterans. Just the idea of being here and being recognized is the one thing that really validates everything for me.
Well, first of all, just an amazing event. It feels good. This type of stuff makes you feel good. It's important not only for the veterans, but it's important for the community. And so to be able to do this, celebrate this way, just this is a standard that other communities should follow. Walking in here, seeing the attendance and what those folks are doing, and putting it on, I think this should be a benchmark for other communities.
What do you have to say to West Bloomfield, especially to West Bloomfield Parks, for putting on this event every single year and to be honoring the veterans every chance that they get?
An absolute huge thank you, right? It takes work. These things just don't happen. So it takes people that'll volunteer and do other things to make it happen. So I guess I just want to say a big thank you and keep doing it and encourage others to do the same.
About the people here today, everybody visiting this event, to be learning from the veterans and to be joining part in this moment together, what do you hope they take away from being a part of something like this today?
Well, I hope that they take away that those things that we were told while we were on active duty. Never forget to give back to the community, because the community has given you so much, and that's important.
Freedom is not free, and that's the thing that we need to always keep in mind, and especially with the people that didn't come back, my brothers and sisters that we miss and we'll never forget.
Community service and those at the home front are just as important as us when we deploy, because you got to come home. And what do you come home to? And so I think having this event and having those others attend is as important, if not more important, than the veterans coming. Because we get together and share an old story, but really seeing the other community members there makes events like this special.
It certainly was a very special event. And if you missed the Heroes Breakfast, have no fear, because it is available to watch on civiccentertv.com/heroes25. Once again, civiccentertv.com/heroes25. That is where you can check out the Heroes Breakfast and to pay your respects to all of the heroes of the greater West Bloomfield community. It was also Election Day across the country, and the Splash Live has the election results for all of the recent polling. The city of Keego Harbor elected one city council member. That city council member is Christina Elson, who has been elected to city council, securing 86.25% of the vote. For the city of Orchard Lake Village, they elected two city council members. Kevin Kroger and Duane Sonneville were re-elected to city council, receiving 39.8 and 30.16% of the vote, respectively. The city of Orchard Lake Village had ballot initiatives to vacate and to sell a vacated city street. Both passed with just under 81% of voters selecting yes on their ballots. For Bloomfield Hills schools, their building and site sinking fund millage replacement proposal, that passed with 62.43% of the vote. the school district of the city of Pontiac. Their building and site sinking fund millage replacement proposal, that passed with 73.97% of the vote. And finally, the West Bloomfield School District Sinking Fund millage proposal, that passed with 54.16% of the 6,233 voters within the school district voting yes. For a full listing of Oakland County election results, visit civiccentertv.com and click on the slide at the top of the page, or visit the Oakland County Clerk's Facebook page at OC Clerk Michigan. One of the biggest construction projects in West Bloomfield is now underway, as West Bloomfield Fire Station number 1 has officially closed its doors for a full renovation, with work set to conclude around this time next year. Recently, the fire station released a farewell video to their old station, while also providing some visuals on what their new one will look like. Here's that video now.
Radio from Engine 1, please.
Engine 1.
Radio, after 53 years of service in the community, Station 1 is closing for renovation until it reopens to serve our community again in the near future. Engine 1 and Rescue 1 are ready for reassignment.
Message received, Engine 1. Fire Station 1 is closed for renovation at 8:40 hours on October 24th, 2025. Radio to Battalion 1.
Go for Battalion 1.
Battalion 1, Rescue 1, and Engine 1 personnel are awaiting assignment.
Message received. Engine 1 personnel will be assigned to Tower 5. Rescue 1 will be assigned to Station 2.
Several new features and additions with this new fire station that will make Greater West Bloomfield safer and better for everyone. Fire Chief Greg Flynn went into more detail on what this new station will entail during a recent conversation on the Splash Live with our own Tyler Kieft.
Chief, thank you for joining us today.
Tyler, I love that intro, a destination place. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate having you on and glad to have you on to talk about this, because the renovation process is now getting underway this week as Fire Station 1 makes its final preparations to undergo this massive renovation. So as we get to that point, as I mentioned, Fire Station number 1 during this renovation, while it's not entirely tearing the building down, that building will be out of service. So I would guess the top question on the mind of those in West Bloomfield Township and the surrounding areas would be, how is that personnel and the apparatus being divvied up amongst the rest of the township to continue service as is while Fire Station number 1 is not in service?
Well, it's very difficult to make any improvements and keep service as is, Tyler. So there will be modifications. The Station 1 crew will, right now our plan is the station will be closing at the end of the week. We are ready to move into some testing for some abatement and some items. You know, when these stations were built and buildings were constructed decades ago, the asbestos and some other materials that need to be abated before we can do that renovation. All that needs to take place. So we'll be exiting late this week. That will move in. And we'll start doing that testing. But rest assured, we've been planning for this. The rescue is going to move down to Fire Station number 2. So we'll be running 2 ambulances, 2 rescues out of Fire Station 2. And the engine crew will be moving over to Fire Station 5, where we know we have the tower. So we'll be running multiple pieces of fire suppression apparatus out of Fire Station 5.
And we know this is going to be quite a significant renovation of the fire station. It's going to bring it into more of a modern setting for your firefighters and also for the response that both West Bloomfield has in the township proper and in the Tri-Cities, but also within the Oakway Partnership as well. And so as these renovations are going on, how long on paper, hopefully with everything going exactly the way it's been planned, can we expect Fire Station number 1 to be out of service?
I think the paper aspect has us probably about this time next year. So I think we're looking at close to a 12-month renovation process. I am confident with the team that they will achieve that mark. if not even able to kind of move that along and see a little bit more of a shorter time with that. So with any renovation, the challenge is the construction team will likely come across some things that weren't accurately depicted in the drawings, or some kind of underground infrastructure that was thought to be in better condition. And then those things will have to be addressed along the way. And then whatever kind of global or kind of regional issues that develop over the course of the renovation, those things will impact the time too. But we're going to remain engaged. Would love to be able to come on to the Splash and give some updates and really keep everybody up to date on the progress and really this exciting project as they see it unfold as they pass by on Orchard Lake Road.
And it's a pretty big moment for the fire department, and it's also really significant to to represent the investment in public safety that the residents of West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities have put into the West Bloomfield Fire Department, which also represents Kegel Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake with their fire service as well. And so among all the recent renovations that have been made and improvements, new apparatus, of course, the recent renovations at another nearby fire station. Now fire station number 1 undergoes these renovations. Why was now the right time for fire station number 1 to undergo some of these changes?
Fire Station 1 has been in the capital improvement plan for years now. It started probably 4 or 5 years ago with planning for a needs assessment. Then the needs assessment in the 2022-2023 range took place. And even before that, the township did a more comprehensive needs assessment throughout all of the buildings within the township, the 9 physical structures, 6 at fire, town hall, police, and water and sewer. So kind of shouldering those, the majority of those buildings, and that we use them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Station 1 built in the early 70s, and that's back when the department was a volunteer department. And the needs have changed greatly over the decades, Tyler. And Trustee Manna brought up in the meeting the dissenting vote moving forward, but he highlighted his why. And I think it's important that this isn't something that falls deaf on the fire chief or on the team that was designing. We know it's expensive to renovate a building, and we know that it's even more expensive for a multitude of reasons within government to do that. So I really want to instill a high degree of confidence with our residents that the thoughtfulness and the purposeful design components, the training tower that's going in there, how that's connecting with the community, the fire club that you've highlighted on this program. We really are looking for every single way we can take every square foot of that building and ensure that the residents know and see the value and feel that value that they're getting from those tax dollars that they trust us with. So that is not something that we take lightly, and that's why I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about the station and the things that you're highlighting here and showing some of those renderings. It's going to be a beautiful building. That's another component of it. It's in a very high vis area there on Orchard Lake Road, and it says a lot about our community when our municipal buildings are striking and speak to the presence within the community.
And then, as you mentioned, we'll get back to some of the community aspects of the plans with this renovation, but you mentioned just a moment ago that when this station was built, Fire Station number 1 and all of our other fire stations, they were occupied as a volunteer fire department. It's much different of a paradigm than when you have a full-time employee fire department that's serving not only West Bloomfield Township but several other communities as well in its main service area, and then also providing partnerships to neighboring municipalities through the Oakway Collective as well. And so as these changes are undergoing, what were some of the key elements that are going into Fire Station number 1 that we'll see come a year or so from now when it reopens that are really critical to continuing that top-notch care, top-notch service that people expect from the West Bloomfield Fire Department?
Well, a big part in delivering and meeting those expectations within the community is having all of those resources strategically placed throughout the community. And Fire Station 1 is underutilized for its ability to store caches of equipment because of its lack of space. So in the design and in some of my comments and within the planning commission and in front of the board and with updates to come, you'll notice a mezzanine area where we're able to store equipment and things that we'll need for response throughout the community. That will include the continued placement of apparatus with the drive-through bays in that area, which make it Orchard Lake Road's access north and south within the community and into surrounding communities. The workforce impact in hitting one of our objectives of supporting our very diverse workforce, that is going to be achieved by the move that's been, you saw this in the design of Fire Station 3, where we create the individual dorm rooms where there's a sense of privacy and quiet that our first responders can have. We know this helps to encourage resilience within their, not just the space for their physical wellness, but for their emotional wellness too. The kitchen space is, speaking of physical wellness, some improvements within that living space and the food prep area and kind of where they are for 24 hours a day. Just like your kitchen is a focal point within many of our residents' homes, so too is the kitchen at the fire station. There's some nuances all around the exterior of the building. We've got a space outside now, just like people enjoy having that space to go out and enjoy the Michigan seasons. We're going to have that now at Fire Station 1, something we haven't had in the past. And then the last thing I'll highlight here in the time is the training tower, Tyler. And this is a multi-story training tower, being able to go through evolutions of rappelling down the side of the training tower, affecting rescues off of balconies. It takes you back to images of the Heckman fire. All of these things that we know are within the community. We practice how we need to play. And we've built those elements into the training tower, and we've built elements into the apparatus room so we can train inside the facility year round.
And you mentioned earlier on, lastly, before we let you go, because it's on Orchard Lake Road, right in the heart of West Bloomfield Township, it is such a highly visible area near the high school, near the Crosswinds Shopping Mall at Orchard Lake and Lone Pine that gets so much foot traffic throughout the day. And in an area where people are walking all throughout all seasons of the year, that high visibility was also incorporated into this plan with some community spaces also on the docket for the renovations. Give us a quick overview of that and how community engagement also factored in to the new outlook for Fire Station number 1.
Well, there's definitely going to be more to come on this, because this isn't just being designed for a space for the community to engage. This is being designed for a space for the community to participate in and building in memorial stones and things like that that will come in the weeks and months ahead as we release that. But it is what we're kind of referring to right now is the Firefighter Memorial Plaza. And you'll divert kind of off of the main sidewalk. We're going to take our 9/11 steel that has been in the training room and occasionally comes out to the big Friday night public safety hero salute game with the Lakers. That's going to be permanently placed out for the public with a very respectful stone podium and pedestal that will be on. There'll be an interactive kind of toddler-sized space where parents can kind of let their children out of the stroller for a little bit of break, stretch their legs, and interact with some things along that memorial walk, that plaza. So we're excited about that. It's going to be beautiful. More to come on some of those renderings as we really dial in the key components of that. But we're excited, and you're going to start seeing things happen as early as next week with the renovation starting and moving into the initial phases.
Well, we'll keep up to date with you and continue to communicate with the fire department here on Splash Live to see those renovations as they are undergoing and as the new Fire Station number 1 comes into play. Chief Flynn, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Plenty to be excited about in West Bloomfield. This brand new fire station is surely going to be such a beacon for the community. So we really appreciate Fire Chief Flynn for taking the time to talk with us here on the Splash Live. In just a few short days, Shop Sylvan will be returning to the community just in time for the holiday season. Come celebrate creativity, craftsmanship, and community spirit at this vibrant showcase of local makers and small businesses in the heart of Sylvan Lake. The event is taking place Sunday, November 9th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. One of the vendors at this year's event is Colleen Gallus of Vaiety Designs, who recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us all about her business.
Colleen, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on to introduce the community to Vaiety Designs. Tell us a little more about how it started and how you got underway on this creative endeavor.
Sure. My business partner, Crystal, and I, we started this kind of on a whim, making some personalized things for our company Christmas party. And we posted it online and tagged Holly Campbell in the post, and she shared it from there, and it went viral. So Vaiety was born from that.
And what kind of products or designs can visitors expect you to bring to Shop Sylvan and maybe be able to interact with or hopefully purchase a few along the way?
Absolutely. Well, we have a long line of Lions gear, Tigers gear, some different just Detroit branded merchandise, just some things to really kick off the spirit of Detroit.
And what are some of the materials that you enjoy working with the most as you create these designs? Because they're not just your average run-of-the-mill cookie-cutter designs. These are things that you are putting specific artistic focus into to make them special and unique as they're made by someone local to our community.
Absolutely. So we really go for comfort. We use high-end materials, different fabrics that we source, on-trend design. Just really, if we see something out there that we would wear, she and I would wear, then we're going to bring it in and do something cool to it.
And we know that the goal of something like Shop Sylvan is to get more people out to the Sylvan Lake Community Center to support our local businesses and these small businesses that are rising in our community, these creative endeavors, and gets to know the people that are behind some of these interesting efforts. And so as you've been building Vaiety Designs, how has the community influenced either the designs or the way that you operate to be able to make these creative endeavors move forward and, of course, run a small business right here in our greater West Bloomfield area?
Sure. Well, we've actually been very fortunate that our sports teams have done well in the city. And so that has obviously helped with business and the support from the community. And we're just kind of rolling with it, hoping that, everything with the Lions continues and we see maybe a Super Bowl win this year.
That would be very nice, and hopefully would be quite a big promotion for some of your Lions gear, not only in anticipation when people go out to Shop Sylvan here in a short little while, but even afterward. And you can find even more about Shop Sylvan and their vendors on their Instagram page at Shop Sylvan. That's SHOPPE Sylvan for even more information. And to be able to get out and join an event like Shop Sylvan, where you're able to interface with people in your community, the same community that many of these individuals are operating these businesses in, how does that provide not only a great opportunity for sales, but also for inspiration?
Absolutely. We have some really great vendors alongside of us that I'm excited to be a part of, and we're honored to be a part of. I've attended the event for years, and it's well done and well put together, and the creators have really curated some really great vendors, and we just look to network and gain inspiration from them.
And it's also an opportunity for you to have the community get to know you as well. And so as you're able to get to know the local small business community, you've mentioned being able to get inspired by some of the work that they do, the way that they operate their business, learn a few things. It's also, I'd imagine, a great opportunity to form some partnerships for small businesses, for locally owned businesses, I would imagine is something that's really helpful as you continue to grow together.
For sure. We do have an online presence, but it's always good to get out there and let people touch, see, feel, meet us and see, what's behind the magic here.
You can find more about ViaD on their Instagram page, ViaD Forward on Instagram, or Shop Sylvan for more on all the vendors that will be at Shop Sylvan coming up in early November at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Going to be a really fun event. Colleen, as a creative entrepreneur, what have been some of your biggest challenges along the way? How have you overcome those and turned them into ultimately a positive for your particular company?
Sure. A lot of times it's just kind of coming up with new designs and, trying to get to that creative point, and you get in those creative funks. But there's so much that we draw inspiration from throughout the city and throughout our communities that we continue to draw from that, and our creative process kind of rolls with it. But yeah, sometimes just being caught in that creative funk is hard to get out of, but we find our best to get through it.
So people see you at a local event, they see you at Shop Sylvan, they walk in, they walk up to your vendor stand, they're going to look at all these different designs. What do you believe is going to be the biggest eye catcher that you're going to bring to Shop Sylvan?
Well, some of our number one selling items, like I said, are some of our Lions things, but really the Detroit branded merchandise. I think there's just so much pride that the Detroiters and the Metro Detroiters have in that the Detroit items seem to be our number one sellers. Even if you're a huge Lions fan, you can wear that Detroit sweatshirt or T-shirt or tank throughout the year and really, really show off where you're from.
And so as people are getting ready for the holiday season, they're going to be doing a lot of their shopping coming up. We're going to hear so much about the importance of shopping local. We're going to hear it in all these different commercials. We'll hear it from the chambers of commerce in the local area. But ultimately, who it really impacts are people like you and small business owners here in our community. So when people do focus their holiday shopping or other high purchase times of the year on our small businesses, just how big of an impact does it actually make on them?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's majority of our business is local. Although we have an online presence and people purchase from all over the country, really it's our local, it started with family, friends, and then it's just word of mouth that spreads. So it is so important. I know not only for me as a vendor, but so many of the other vendors that will be at Shop Sylvan, for the community to really support them. And these events are huge. This is what puts food on the table. So we appreciate anyone that's out there and willing to support us.
So many different designs will be available at Shop Sylvan, along with vendors from all across Sylvan Lake, Keagle Harbor, and around the greater West Bloomfield area. For more information on that, follow Shop Sylvan on their Instagram page at Shop Sylvan. That's SHOPPE Sylvan, or head on over to our website, civiccentertv.com. You'll find even more information and some of our recent interviews about this upcoming event happening at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Colleen, when you go to this event, when you have this interaction with all of these different customers, hopefully, or at the very least, people that are your local neighbors, what do you take away at the end, other than, of course, some business opportunities to be able to interface with your local community like this once again this year?
There's just so much positive energy that comes from these events. You just gain a lot of new friendships, a lot of new just connections that you make throughout it. But the energy at the end of these events are just incredible, and you leave on such a high. Obviously the business part of it is great, but really that connection to community is so important, and it's really what we're looking most forward to.
Sunday, November 9th, 12 noon to 4 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Shop Sylvan will feature local vendors from small businesses right here in the greater West Bloomfield area, including ViaD Designs, where Colleen Gallus joins us on today's edition of the Splash Live. Colleen, before we let you go today, I want to give you one more opportunity to tell the people of greater West Bloomfield a little bit more about ViaD Designs and what this effort means to you, to your family, and of course, to your artistic side as well as you continue to operate this business in our area.
Yeah, well, it means so much. Again, just to be invited and included in the Shop Sylvan was a huge honor. And then to see our local community support us and seeing our gear being worn on the streets, it's pretty cool. We're so grateful and feel so fortunate to have been given this opportunity in so many ways. From just even the Holly Campbell repost a year ago that really put us on the map. To again, seeing our designs on the street, it's awesome. And so we're really, truly grateful for this opportunity.
Plenty of interesting, unique, and even custom designs available. Check out their Instagram page at Viety Forward for even more information. Colleen, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a great addition to Shop Sylvan. Everybody loves their sports gear, and I hope a lot of people get some Lions gear. I have a feeling the team's going to be needing a little bit of extra boost on their upcoming game after what happened last week. But once again, the Shop Sylvan event is going to be taking place on Sunday, November 9th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Just recently, a local deli in the community was voted the best deli in Oakland County. The Stage Deli in West Bloomfield was given the prestigious honor for the 7th year in a row, an incredible achievement for a West Bloomfield staple. Steve Goldberg, the owner of the Stage Deli, recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us his thoughts on the honor.
Steve, thank you for coming on the show today, and congratulations once again on this big honor.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, glad to have you on. This is a place that people who have lived in West Bloomfield, who come through West Bloomfield, they go to the Stage Deli. They love this place, and now it's getting the love again that it deserves, continuing to be pretty dominant amongst a pretty well diverse area of delis throughout Southeast Michigan. What do you believe sets the stage apart from the competition?
Well, that's an interesting question. We've been doing this as a family for 63 years. And I'd say the number one thing is consistency. We consistently produce excellent food and great guest experiences. We love our clientele. We love our staff. And we just love being part of the community. And I thank all the Metro Times readers and the staff for voting us again number one in Oakland County.
And you started out, of course, your family opened this restaurant in the 60s here in Oakland County, moved into West Bloomfield in the early 80s, and has stayed here in your location on Orchard Lake Road and in this township ever since. Why West Bloomfield as the place to continue this family business and sustain it for now the majority of the time that it's been operating, almost 45 of those 60 years?
You know, it's for our restaurant, it's been a terrific, and our family, it's been a terrific love affair with the community. We love being here. It's a beautiful community. I love the values and the people. And, of course, the people who've shown their love to us. And hopefully they've had some great meals and memorable experiences there. You know, many people experience their entire life's watershed moments at our restaurant. We have all kinds of celebrations every week. And it's really gratifying to be part of the heartbeat of the community.
I've had some very important moments there as well, here with Civic Center TV and also with my family in recent years as well. It's been a place growing up in West Bloomfield that I know many families have gone to for a number of years, and well, one of the many reasons it has been honored once again by the Detroit Metro Times as the #1 deli in all of Oakland County. Steve Goldberg is the owner of the Stage Deli and joins us on the Splash Live today. More information on their website, stagedeli.com, or visit them on the boulevard on Orchard Lake Road on the east side across from the old Orchard Fitness on the boulevard just south of Powers Road. Steve, it's a difficult time, and it has been for several years for restaurants, especially locally owned, family-owned restaurants, to sustain themselves, both to bring in customers and to maintain the business and the standards that they've had. But the Stage has been able to do that and still be quite competitive in doing that too. What do you believe is the difference maker that has continued that momentum for your organization and continue to have it be a place that people want to work, people want to patronize, and the community continues to love?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. We do things right. We take care of our staff. We use only the finest quality ingredients. We have we make so much of our product from scratch in our kitchen. We have one gentleman whose only job is to make cheese blintzes and potato latkes. So that tells you a little something. And we're not just a deli. We're a full service restaurant. We have a huge menu of dinner entrees, great fishes and steaks, and I think people love the variety. You know, you could have a chopped liver and tongue sandwich, or you could have a kale salad, or amazing broiled whitefish with soup and a couple of sides, and it's a good value.
And it's a great place to go for all that different value and all that different variety as well. You can give them a call at 248-855-6622 or visit them on stagedeli.com. Steve Goldberg is with us, the owner of the #1 deli in Oakland County, according to the Detroit Metro Times, and many right here in West Bloomfield Township over at the Stage Deli. It's not just a restaurant, too. You also have the deli counter that plays a big part in your business, too. And beyond that, you know, your restaurant's open during the day, most days of the week, but every now and then you'll open it up even earlier to community gatherings like the Optimist Club, or sometimes even Rotary will have their meeting there. So how important has it been to you, especially now, 40-plus years into your family owning and operating that restaurant in West Bloomfield, to continue to incorporate it into some of the fabric of what the community means in this township?
We love to be able to do whatever we can to give back to the community. We have to do that within the constraints of our highly of our hardworking staff. But whether it's hosting a breakfast or giving to the community with food or donations, promoting particular events, we try and do what we can, and because we're very grateful. We're very grateful for the relationship with the community for going on 43 years now. It's not often that happens, and we're very cognizant of the special place that we hold in the community.
And obviously you and your family take so much pride in this. It is the family business. It's been operating since the 60s, but you also mentioned too the team environment, taking care of your staff, making sure that they also care about the operation is such a critical part as well. How do you maintain that and those relationships? And beyond that, what do you believe about your staff makes them love working for the stage and put that kind of pride into their work every day?
You know, it comes down to caring. I care about my staff. One of the most gratifying parts of my job is to see my staff gain expertise, to thrive, to raise families. I have over 50 staff members who all have families. They put them through school, colleges, and they come back. The kids come back, and they're doctors and lawyers, and it's a wonderful feeling that the Stage Deli and our efforts have been able to accomplish that. And taking care of people will, they'll take care of you. Just, you be good to people.
Since 2019, been awarded the Detroit Metro Times #1 deli in Oakland County, hoping to go for year number 8 next year in 2026. Steve, before we let you go, any other message to your team, to the community, as you receive this honor and continue to be one of the staples and the destinations for people looking for a good bite to eat in West Bloomfield?
Well, I'm just incredibly humbled by the nod and the award, and vow to keep working every day to make each day better than the next, and love what we do.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you joining on and want to extend our congratulations to you and to your team once again for this big honor, the 7th consecutive year you've received this award.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
Word of advice to everybody: I would not recommend hosting this show on an empty stomach, because hearing about the Stage Deli is making me absolutely hungry. But a big congratulations to Steve and Stage Deli for this incredible honor. We're going to take a quick break on the program. When we come back, a radio legend with ties to our community just receiving one of the biggest achievements of his career. We'll have more right after this. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
Hello, my name is Danya Bazzi. I'm the superintendent of West Bloomfield School District. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on hitting the amazing milestone of 1 million viewers. Your involvement in our community doesn't go unnoticed. We thank you for keeping our residents and community engaged in the latest and greatest news and information. I'm Danya Bazzi, and I'm proud to be one in a million.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Schaff. A local resident of our community has been making an impact over the radio waves for quite some time. I'm, of course, talking about Mojo in the Morning, a beloved voice and influential figure in Michigan radio who was recently inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, recognizing his decades-long impact on broadcasting. Known for his engaging style, quick wit, and dedication to the community, he has become a trusted and familiar presence on the airwaves across the state. And here to tell us more about the honor is the man himself. Mojo in the Morning is joining us this morning on The Splash. Mojo, great to have you with us.
Hey, this is great. How you doing, Jake? This is awesome, and an honor to be able to be one of the million here.
It is an honor to be speaking with you, Mojo, and a big congratulations on your inductment into the Radio Hall of Fame. Let's get started. What was your first reaction when you found out this incredible news?
It's actually on our Mojo in the Morning Instagram and Facebook. They were taping it at the time. I cried. I got emotional. I started, Jake, the way that you are doing this right now. I started local cable access in my hometown in the suburbs of Chicago, and never did I ever think I was going to ever be on the radio, nor did I ever think that I'd get honored with the opportunity to be in the Radio Hall of Fame, which is part of the Museum of Broadcast Communications and is located in Chicago. And it's wild because we went there as a show and got a chance to kind of walk around. And as kids, you watch a lot of TV shows. I would watch all the time the late night shows and the daytime shows that were on. We were amongst, people that were in there, like the legendary Johnny Carson, Jimmy Fallon, as well as Bozo the Clown, like all these people, and then all the other radio people like Casey Kasem, J.P. McCarthy from, Michigan, television people like Bill Bonds, who Bill is also a West Bloomfield resident. And so it's a very cool experience, and honestly, it's a complete honor, and I don't think I deserve it, but I humbly accept it, and I hope I can become rich because of it.
Hey, you absolutely deserve this honor, Mojo, for everything that you have done to radio. And you just listed off a lot of big names, probably a lot of your idols. How does it feel to be recognized alongside some of the most iconic radio figures that there are out there?
Well, that night that I was inducted, and you've been showing pictures here on The Splash, I was inducted with Alice Cooper, who is a Detroiter and a legendary rocker, but also has an amazing radio show. There's the great picture, and you can see Alice over to the right there. Colin Cowherd has got a nationally recognized sports talk show. His show is amazing. Some of the biggest broadcasters in the business work for Julie Talbot, who is the person who was the first person inducted. She runs Premier Radio Networks. She was Rush Limbaugh's boss at one point, and now is the boss of Ryan Seacrest. So it was cool. I mean, Jake, I don't know what your aspiration is in life, but when I was working for Jones Intercable, Channel 4, and doing the local football games in the area, honestly, I thought that was the coolest moment of my life. At that moment, I was trying to live in every single moment that I was in, but I would have only dreamed of being able to be in a Hall of Fame. So I mean, I was a kid who grew up and went to high school and never won awards at all. I couldn't win student council. Now I'm in the Radio Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome.
That is really, really awesome. And you were just touching upon some of your past, like growing up. What originally drew you to radio, and what has kept you passionate about it all these years?
Well, I couldn't get a date otherwise. Honestly, I always say that radio draws the nerds, and then for some reason they have glow-ups once they get into radio or television. I love the idea that I could be part of people's lives. We have so many listeners that are from, my hometown of West Bloomfield. And to me, there is nothing better than getting the opportunity to make somebody's day even better than it already is going, or even better than that, if they're having the hardest day or the hardest part of their life at that moment, let them forget about it for the time that we can. So I like the idea that we go on the air, we crack the microphone. I actually am sitting in the studio here, and if they want to come in, they can come walk behind. But I got Shannon and Kev and Anna who are in the studio with me, and they are, here's Shannon. Say hi to Shannon.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I mean, Shannon, West Bloomfield. Say hi to West Bloomfield. All our Chaldeans and
Hi, everybody.
my Jewish friends and my neighbors. I like, just like you, I like that there are people that happen upon maybe this and go, oh my God, that's, Mojo and Shannon and everybody from the radio. That's what they look like. And now they maybe become a fan. So my hope is that you'll listen to us and then maybe give us another try the next day. And then sometimes maybe become like addicted to listening to the show. I always say that what you do is you bring informative information to the community, letting people know about great things that are happening in West Bloomfield, which is an incredible town. My wife and I have lived in West Bloomfield for almost 26 years. I think that what we do is we talk about all the communities that we're on, including Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Toledo, which is where we're based right now.
Hey, all incredible work, and it is great to hear of how far you have come with your career. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with none other than Mojo in the Morning, a radio legend who was just inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. Now, Mojo, you listed off a lot of the people that you were inducted alongside with, a lot of people who you grew up listening to. Are there any particular mentors, colleagues, or even some listeners that you'd like to credit for helping shape your career and what it is now?
Yes, I would like to credit Kool-Aid Lady, Misfit Victor, Smoker Jackie. Honestly, I started listening to radio back when I was, 10 years old, I think, maybe even younger than that. And I talked about this in my speech. My mom passed away when I was young. Radio was my escape. I listened to the radio as a way to forget about the pain that her going through cancer, dealt on me as a kid. Then when I got into radio, I got a chance to work with great, talent over the years. Like the first guy that gave me a job was a guy by the name of George McFly, who people in this area may not know, but he's a legend in Chicago. And then coming to Detroit, I had an opportunity over the years to work against Drew and Mike. Drew was a guy that I always had such a fondness for. And then honestly, you just saw Shannon just a second ago. Shannon's been my sister in radio, but also my sister in life. Now for so many years, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 years, 17 years. I know Shannon as well as anybody. We both have dealt with heartache and pain together, but we've also dealt with the highest of highs together. She keeps me sane and sensible in the studio, and I get a chance every day to work with Kevin and Anna and two great Chaldeans, Lydia and Bianca, who are incredible people. So honestly, I would say my mentors right now are truly everybody that every single day that I get a chance to work with, who come to work at a very ungodly hour of the morning and put on the greatest show, I think, in the history of Detroit radio.
I love it. And you're absolutely right. Everybody needs a strong team, and you have a very strong team with you with your show. Now, Mojo, you said that you have been on the air for about 17 years. What do you believe has been
17?
Apologies.
Shannon's been with me. So in Detroit, it's Detroit Mojo in the Morning is going to be 26 years old on February 21st. I've been on the radio. I'm 55. I've been on the air since I was 18 years old, and then when I was 17 was when I worked in cable. So I've been doing this way longer than I ever thought I would. And honestly, I don't know anything else. If West Bloomfield wants to hire me as a crossing guard, I'll stand out in front of Orchard Lake Middle School and I'll hold that sign. But I'm hoping to do this until the end.
That's fantastic. And like you said, long time on the radio. What do you believe has been the key to maintaining such a strong connection with your audience over the years?
Being able to move with the times, to understand that you can't rest on your laurels. You got to come every single day, and having the trust that when you don't come in and have a good show, that the listeners know what a good show sounds like, and they'll be back the next day, and you just got to make sure you bring it. I always say that, we're like the the New England Patriots, that have won so many different Super Bowls. People always know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. The year that we don't win a Super Bowl is when they'll talk the most. We're going to have bad days, but you know what? Our goal is we're going to try to come and bring it the next day and make it just as good. And then the other thing, too, is living in the community. People see me in West Bloomfield. Like people know where we all live because we talk about where we live and what we're all about. And I think that just like the fact that I've taken to West Bloomfield as my hometown, I think that people get that, and they don't want to hear a nationally syndicated show. So that's always been a plus for us.
Well, you have made such an impact, and I cannot wait to see what else there is to come in the future with you, Mojo. There's so much more to see. And going back to the Hall of Fame recognition, how do you hope that this recognition reflects on your legacy in broadcasting?
Well, I'm not dying and I'm not retiring. So I hope that people, usually in sports, you only get a Hall of Fame when you're retired. So I hope that people don't think that this is the end. I still have many more years that I want to do this. And I think our show has many more years of doing great radio. But I hope that the legacy of what we all do and what I do personally is that people say there was humility in what they did, but damn, they were really good and always, came to work every single day trying to do the best job that they possibly could.
And people look up to you every single day. Once again, Mojo in the Morning, joining us on The Splash this morning to talk about his recent induction into the Radio Hall of Fame. Now, Mojo, as somebody who's been in radio for quite a long time, a lot of people look up to you. A lot of people see you as a source of inspiration. What advice would you give to young broadcasters trying to make their mark, especially in today's fast-changing media environment?
I would say don't ever give up. Accept every opportunity that comes your way. My first on-air job came because somebody called in sick 10 straight days in a row, and there wasn't anybody to fill in on the 10th day. So I was always there hoping that I would get the call to be the person that would go on the air. And I knew that the moment that I was put into the game, I was going to give it my all. So in life, no matter if it's radio or if it's becoming a teacher or a police officer, a firefighter, whatever it might be, always be there, always show up, always be willing to take whatever job that they're willing to give, and then give it your all. And if you got talent, they'll see that. And in my case, I don't think my talents were what got me to this point. I think it was definitely the hard work and the dedication of making sure that each and every day I was going to be great for whoever I was working for.
Hey, hard work and dedication means so much, and it's what everybody needs to get to where they want to go. Now, Mojo, radio has always been about connecting with people. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of that connection for you?
Well, we are about to get into the holidays here right now, and our Mojo in the Morning Breaking and Entering Christmas Wish program, which year after year we've always made sure that we had at least a resident from West Bloomfield. We get help through the West Bloomfield PD and the West Bloomfield Fire Department, where they'll help us nominate some families. But that is one of those things where I want to plug this, because and I know West Bloomfield is always thought of as an affluent area, but there's not nobody understands that there's people struggling in a town like West Bloomfield. And now with everything, being the way that it is in our country, there are even more people struggling. I want people to go, our West Bloomfield residents, go to mojoswish.org and send us a letter that we can grant a wish for you, so that every kid, every family can have a holiday, whether you're going through illness or you're going through financial hardship. Don't be proud, put that aside and tell us what's going on. That, I think, has been a great legacy. We started this 501c3 after just literally dipping into our own personal pockets and granting wishes using like as little as $1,000 to spread amongst a number of different people. And now we've almost raised $1 million over the years to break break into people's homes, so to speak. This is what we do. We go on the air, surprise people early in the morning, and then say, hey, can we break in and bring Christmas to you? Because nobody ever breaks into somebody's home and leaves things. They always take things. And then we set up the tree and the gifts and all that stuff. That's such a great legacy. That's always incredible. So I'm very, very proud of that as a lasting legacy that will forever be part of the history of the Mojo in the Morning show.
I love it. I love hearing about all the work that you are doing to give back to the community. That's so great to hear, Mojo, and we appreciate everything that you do. I'd love to keep talking with you, but I got one more question before we wrap things up. Now that you've achieved this milestone, what's next for you, either personally or professionally? What's next?
I'm going to Red Coat for a burger. No. Honestly, what's next is to wrap this year up strong and to come back and continue to just keep doing great radio. I'm hoping that the Lions win a Super Bowl, Pistons win a NBA championship, the Tigers win the World Series, and the Red Wings win a Stanley Cup. Honestly, nothing is ever different than from getting the award to not getting the award. It's the same thing. I drive Orchard Lake Road every single day to and from, and I know when the construction's going on and when there's no construction. So I don't know. Maybe I'll run for West Bloomfield supervisor or something like that. I don't know. I actually have had people ask me if I would ever get into politics. And the problem is, I got too much of a bad past. There's no way that anybody would ever allow that.
I mean, I'd vote for you. I think you do so much greatness around the community and across the radio airwaves. I cannot wait to see what's to come. Mojo, thank you so much for joining us here on the program today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you to what you do, because honestly, when there's nothing on television and I'm looking for something, I watch The Splash.
That is amazing to hear. We always appreciate our fans, and we always appreciate Mojo. Big congratulations once again for his induction into the Radio Hall of Fame. If you're driving alongside all throughout West Bloomfield, you will know that Chico Elementary School, their construction is continuing to commence throughout the community, and they just reached an incredible milestone. The structural integrity of the building has been set, and just recently, myself and several other members of the West Bloomfield School District got to take a look inside and to hear from officials as to what this means for the community.
Oh my goodness, I can't even put it into words almost. It's going to be so incredible. The students and staff just continue to be so supportive, the parents, and they are super excited to start in the new school year. The construction workers, Pat, the construction manager, everybody involved, Jamie Stottlemyre, central office. Every time we come, we can see all of the progress. They've been wonderful at giving tours and really bringing the staff along so they see the progress and can envision it and start planning as we speak.
You know, we're really excited about the progress at Chico Elementary. The construction is really going on as planned. We're excited that we're still on track to meet the opening date of June of 2026. And to see the space come to life has really been amazing. To now see it kind of in a 3D atmosphere, whereas before we were seeing it on drawings, is really exciting. Now we can visualize the space with kids in it and staff. And being able to come out here today and experience this with staff and for them to be able to see and stand in their classrooms where they're going to be in a year from now was just amazing.
I'm really excited about the learning spaces and the opportunities that students will have. First and foremost, the theme of Michigan, it really is a children's hands-on museum meets school, and it will make learning engaging and just really next level. So the kids will I can't wait to see the looks on their faces because they have never seen school like this.
It's incredible. If anybody looking for a home in West Bloomfield sees this school and are not attracted to coming to our school district, it would be shocking for me to understand. Having started back here in 1985 and watched 3 different additions onto the building as I was at Green Elementary and seeing what we're going to have now, it's just the technology, the infrastructure, the building, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
How great do you think this brand new Chico Elementary School is going to be for the school district and their mission going forward?
I think it's going to show that we're committed to dreaming big for our students and dreaming bigger for our community. And I'm really excited about the learning that's going to take place in this building and how the space is going to actually facilitate deeper level learning within it. Learning spaces matter, and I think this is going to be an unbelievable space where we connect the academics with the learning space, and we're really going to see great results from this.
Greatness everywhere you look in West Bloomfield. That's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to everybody on the Splash Live team for making this show possible and for our guests for stopping by. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.